We are live. You guys tell me if you sign on.
It's still saying upcoming for me, so just give it a minute.
Yeah, it's
I'm 32 seconds in.
I can see this. So.
Oh, I got it.
Popped up.
I don't have it yet.
It's just talking about popping up on mine.
Okay, I got it now. I've got my volume all the way down though, so you know the echoes.
So did you guys like sign into it, basically? So it should show like,
Yeah, I think I'm signed
Attendee.
in with Vanessa right now. So.
yeah, so there's one attendee. Can you see the attendees?
Oh no, I'm Andrew Mathis. That's funny.
Andrew Mathis. Yep.
So I can set you up like this, so you can see them come in.
We've got 4 people online. What's up, everybody? Pretty excited to go live. Okay, there's trying to get set up here. You guys go ahead and post your questions below. We'd love to answer those for you. Like to wait around a few minutes here to see who we can get online with us here, get everybody involved. Answer as many questions as we can today on this beautiful, lovely Saturday. Put in the comments if it's hot where you're at. Sure is hot here in North Carolina. Just gonna wait a few more minutes before we kind of get started here. And if you guys have questions, make sure you put them in the comment section below, the chat section. We'll go ahead and get started answering some of those questions if you have them. All right, Superior Blasting, it's a nice 90 degrees. Yeah, I think it's 93. 93. And humid. Who all do we have online today? I'm going to give it a couple more minutes, let some more people join. Sweet. We've got some more joining here. Again, guys, make sure you put your questions or comments in the chat section. We'd love to answer those for you. We'll get started in a couple more minutes. We'll let some more people join. I don't want people to miss anything. Let me know what you want to talk about, what you'd want me to talk about, any questions you want me to answer. Wet blasting, dry blasting, parts washing, you name it. That's what I'm here for. We'll try to do that, answer those questions for you. Where are all of our YouTube fans? Or haters. Either one's fine. You guys like the content we've been posting lately on YouTube? If you do, put a thumbs up in the chat section. If there's more content that you want to learn about or watch videos on, put those in the comment sections below. We'd love to answer those questions. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here. Who do we have watching? You guys give a shout out to where you're watching from. Sweet. So let's go dive into some questions. Maybe this will get the party started. You guys can start asking some more questions. So let's talk about a couple things here that we've been getting questions on for a very long time. And the first one is, so why did we start producing sandblasting equipment in 2024? One of the major reasons was because of all of the requests that we've had over the years. We denied thousands and thousands of requests over the years to manufacture and sell dry blasting equipment. We had been critiquing what we were doing in the wet blasting space for many, many years while doing a bunch of testing, R&D. A lot of the times we had given you guys a lot of different content based on wet versus dry. And so we started pushing into that segment of the marketplace this year, giving you more of wet versus dry comparisons, really trying to help you come up with a very informed decision on purchasing, whether it's a wet blast or a dry blast cabinet or parts washer. What we wanted to do was to provide a very comprehensive product offering in the surface finishing and the cleaning industry. And so that's why we got into the sandblasting side, or dry blasting side, if you will. One of the things that we have always strived to do as a company is provide a lot of value to you as the customer, and we wanted to make sure that we get you exactly what you need at the price point that you need it. With the sandblasting, we're definitely probably taking a little bit different approach than we normally have. We are, I would say, middle high end on the sandblasting spectrum, definitely not on the low end side. So people looking for bolt together cabinets and cheap economy cabinets, that's not something we're going to be doing, at least right now, unless there's a huge request for those things over the next couple months or years. But we wanted to produce a very quality product, and that's one thing that we've always given you quality products, but at a price point you could afford, per se. And of course, there are always trade-offs depending on where you purchase. You always have pros and cons to anything. it's as if, you know, buying a car or a truck. There's always different trim packages and different things that you have to leave off at certain price levels. So that's one of the things that we've started doing as we've went along. We've tried to help the customer as much as possible, getting them what they need, you know, at a price point that they're looking at, because in the world we live in today, it's pretty wild and crazy. Pricing's gotten out of control. That's one thing we've tried to control over the years is pricing. COVID really killed many companies with material increases, and so we had to pass that stuff on to you guys as the customer, which is always kind of difficult. But that's really why we started sandblasting, is because people wanted us to do that, and so we wanted to provide a very comprehensive product line, and we want to share as much knowledge as we can with you, wet versus dry or parts washing. So that's what we're here for. We have, if you've tuned in lately, we have 8,000 square feet of showroom space. There's, at this point, I think 23 or 24 different machines in the showroom, and you know, we're here to show those off. So, and show people how they work and how they can use them. What I'd like to hear from you guys is, you know, if there's something that you haven't seen yet, or if there's something that you need help with, put that in the comment section so that we can answer those questions either now or in future videos. That's what we would like to do. But yeah, that's why we started sandblasting. So another question that we've seen quite frequently is CNC markets have picked up with blasting in general, but wet blast for sure. We've been working with CNC market over total of about 12 years now with wet blast, but there are thousands of companies using dry blasting. But for example, the question is, what would you recommend to prep CNC machine parts for anodize? Personally, the abrasive selection would depend on the burr removal or the smoothing or blending of the CNC part. What does your toolpath marks look like? You know, is there chatter or something specifically with your CNC machine that you're trying to remove? Are you trying to eliminate, you know, maybe a final pass and get parts out quicker? So that's going to determine like your mixtures, specifically in a wet blast. Wet blasting is really good for mixing abrasives, where we can do deburring or light deburring plus smoothing and blending of the part to get it ready for anodize. We've been doing some sample testing between dry glass bead, wet glass bead, and your results are very, very, very similar. One of the, I think the biggest issues that I've always had with looking at dry blast as a feasible solution is the process is going to be a little bit harder to control than wet blast. So, you know, wet blast normally is kind of like a set it and forget it, as long as you're checking your abrasive to water ratios and making sure that you're within, you know, the 20% abrasive to water ratio to actually effectively blast parts. So wet blasting is definitely a little bit easier as far as set it and forget it. Dry blasting takes a little bit more control. You have to control air pressures. A lot of times operators want to bump pressures up or down depending on, you know, kind of some of the results they're seeing. And some of those things might be driven, you know, based on the abrasive life or the condition of the abrasive. So some people have no idea that maybe their abrasive is turning to dust and they have no more good usable abrasive. Which in a dry cabinet, that's what we're seeing. You know, it's important to have an abrasive reclaimer with dust collector and make sure those are functioning and working properly. And you're evacuating, number one, to keep visibility in the cabinet good, you got to get that abrasive and dust out. Number two, you have to basically filter that abrasive using the reclamation system. It's essentially an abrasive filter, meaning it's screening the good abrasive and it's extracting the dust into the dust collector. So that's one of the things that we've been working on for years is reclamation and dust collection systems, and pairing those with the right size cabinet, because that is going to have an effect on your blasting process. But again, prepping CNC parts for anodized glass bead slurry or glass bead in a dry cabinet is very good for that. You have to work and look at pressures when blasting. Pressures are very important with the blasting process. And no matter if that's a wet blast or a dry blast process, pressures always play into the outcome and the effect of the blasting process. And that's something we do here. We help test. A lot of times people want us to throw something off the hip, like set a process up off the hip. We like to run a bunch of parts so that we can kind of wrap our heads around it. For many years, we've seen so many things react and behave differently. And that's one thing we try to eliminate. We want to make sure you get set up with a specific process that works. That's what we're here for. So hopefully that answers that question. But anodized does work really well after wet blast. And of course, people are using dry blast all day to anodize. Some of the issues that we've seen in the past with wet versus dry, when you come to anodizing, is fish eyeing and the aesthetical looking part after anodize. So the surface finish and the surface prep is extremely important with anodize, because anodize, we're essentially dyeing the material. So there's nothing overlaying and masking the substrate. So whatever the substrate looks like is what's coming through with the anodize. So that's one of the things that we've been playing with wet blast or dry blast to see, what kind of results you get best. But some people switch from dry to wet simply because they can't get maybe a brighter part, or they're having trouble with contamination on the substrate. And it could just be a simple fix, maybe not even changing processes, but maybe changing pressures, or making sure your machine's functioning and working as it should. So hopefully that helps. I've got another question here. So again, guys, put your questions in the chat section below if you have something that we're not covering today, or if you want to see something in a previous or a future video. That's what we're here for. Let's look at this question. What machines are best for a mechanic shop? So that's a great question. What machines are best for a mechanic shop? I absolutely love our high-pressured hydroblast parts washers for mechanics. For mechanics who are just looking to remove grease and oil and gunk and just put the part back into service all but immediately, that's where the hydroblast comes in. And it's just really quick and really easy. Over the years, you've had a lot of people using automatic parts washers, which we do manufacture those and we do sell those. Automatic parts washers oftentimes don't have the pressure that you need to clean those parts quickly. Automatic parts washers work on time, so length of time and heat. So not pressure, just length of time and heat. And the hydroblast parts washers work on heat and pressure. So you have both worlds in a hydroblast, so they work hundreds of times faster than automatic parts washers. We see companies switching from traditional automatic parts washing to hydroblasting simply because of the amount of time that you can eliminate from a process, or from a production process. I mean, time is money in the mechanic world, so that's where we've been focusing on, again with the hydroblasting. But if a mechanic is looking to clean a part, not just degrease it, but they're actually looking to put a certain finish on it or clean off some heavier scale or maybe some paint, then you have to get into dry blast or wet blast. And I will tell you, I am becoming a huge advocate for dry soda blast. We've been working with dry soda blast now for many, many months, and it is a very impressive process. It's not going to give you this beautiful, beautiful finish that wet blasting will or dry glass beading will, but it will clean parts quickly. Now, it is a one and done with the abrasive. You cannot reuse the abrasive. That would be the only downside. However, dry soda, I can't remember the price per pound, but it's not that expensive. And if you look at engine failures or part failures after reassembly, when people leave abrasive in these parts, no matter if you're doing a wet blast or a dry blast process, you have to post-clean these parts. And again, that's where Hydroblast comes back in. I mean, I've seen so many customers that we recommend buying a Hydroblast with a blasting cabinet so you can do your post cleaning. But again, I would say that I would sell a mechanic a dry soda blast cabinet and a Hydroblast parts washer more times than not, simply because of the speed, efficiency, and just the overall cleaning abilities of those two machines. Okay, I'm not gonna keep going on that question here, but let's look at, we've got a chat that came in here. It says, what can we expect for future product lines? Well, that's a great question. I think that's gonna come back to consumer or customer demand, stuff that we see in the field every day. I don't know that I can really answer that question right now. Honestly, what we do is we try to take it week by week, day by day. We work with the sales department and we see what needs exist in the world. I mean, one of the reasons that I started and founded Vapor Honing Technologies years ago is because we could not find, or I could not find, a wet blasting cabinet in the U.S., and specifically a wet blasting cabinet that was less than $23,000. So it was just a need. I saw a need in the marketplace, and that's why I started Vapor Honing Technologies. So yeah, I mean, as far as future product lines, I have some ideas, but I don't know that I want to say those things out loud because I'm not sure that there's going to be any demand for that. What we do is we just try to monitor what customers are looking for, and we try to provide a solution for that. And so, again, that's what's led us here today. Or we try to improve upon a specific product that maybe is already in the marketplace, which, again, most companies do. They try to improve a process or a product that's already in the marketplace. But yeah, I mean, I love the question, and you know, hopefully maybe towards the end of the year, first of 2025, we might deliver something else. Again, we do have some stuff that we're thinking, but nothing that I'm going to really say out loud right now. But thanks for that question. Excuse me. So let's go on to another question here. So, okay, we've got another question coming back here from Machine Tool Channel. Awesome, I love it. It says, cool, got it. Do you feel that the competition in the wet blasting market has increased since you started? I don't. I really don't. I've seen no new competition. I see a lot of hobbyists doing their own thing, which is cool, but I do not see any new companies or competition in the marketplace at all since we've started. I think one of the things that nobody really remembers, and I do very specifically, was that there used to only be about anywhere from 20 to 80 searches a month on any given keyword in the wet blasting market space. Now, after doing this for 12 years, any specific keyword in the marketplace is searched thousands of times a month. So demand has certainly increased over the years. We started seeing an increase in demand in 2016. That's when things really picked up. That's when I told people we really had a business. But yeah, as far as new competition, there really isn't any. And you know, again, you've got people that pop up here and there, little fly-by-night operations that, you know, it's just a hobby, and you know, they're having fun maybe selling 1 or 2 cabinets a year. That's fine. I mean, it's cool. It's what makes us, you know, an awesome place to be and an awesome place to live. There's competition, or people can start businesses at any given time. So yeah, love that question. But definitely demand has increased rather than competition. Superior blasting, what separates your new sandblasters from everyone else? Well, that's a great question. So over the years, one of the biggest things that I've seen in the marketplace, and I've done thousands of plant tours and worked with tons of managers, and so has our sales department. What we've seen are leaky dry blasting cabinets. So cabinets that have no good door seals, no good window seals, gaskets are worn. Maybe there are no gaskets at all. Cabinets that are not fully welded. And I've seen some very high-end dry blasting cabinets that are called high-end, but they're built on a very low-end scale, meaning door seals are terrible. Look, there's some really good products in the marketplace today that you can use on these machines. It's not cheap. Door seals and window seals. Some of this extrusion product is not cheap, but it is good, and it does work. So sealing these cabinets up, moving air through these cabinets is very important for visibility. That's one of the things that we saw out of the gate, specifically with dry soda blast. So air movement, the sealing of a cabinet, and of course the collection and reclamation of abrasive and dust. So that's what makes us different. We do build these machines like tanks. They're very heavy. These cabinets are 12 gauge welded steel cabinets, and they will be powder coated. A lot of the ones you see in the video here are hand painted. We did that for speed purposes, but they will be powder coated. We powder coat everything that we build, and rightfully so. It's much tougher, it's much more durable, and again, it's just something that has made production much easier for us. But yeah, sealing these cabinets so that dust is not flying everywhere. Your noise from blasting inside, which is normally much louder than a wet blasting cabinet, you got to try to keep that noise in the cabinet. But some of these big industrial machines that we have in here are very, very noisy. Even though we have good seals on doors and windows, you're pumping a lot of air volume through these cabinets. So, but that's what does make us different. Again, we do stand behind our products. We do offer different programs on the wet blast side. We're not going to offer, like, for example, we will not offer lifetime warranty on dry blast. Specifically because dry blast will eat itself. Dry blast is way more aggressive than wet. But we do stand behind our products, and we have the sales team. The sales team works 6 and 7 days a week most days, and they're always on standby at any given time. So if you have questions or you have issues with your process or your product, you can always get help, and that's one of the things that we really pride ourselves in here, and we're going to continue to do so. And again, there are multiple people in the sales department that are here to answer your questions and help you. So, if you can't get an email response, shoot a text message to somebody. If you can't get a response to that, make a phone call. There really is no excuse in this day and age that you can't get somebody on the phone to get some help. There's so many people that are readily available now in the company to get help with. And that's one of the things that we did struggle with years ago, and I will admit that. We did not have enough people. We did not have good enough systems. Things were much different. It's a growing business. A lot of our early on customers were very understanding of that, and they, understood that we were growing and we were going through growing pains, and, we were trying to manage customers to the best of our ability. I always hate saying the best that we can because I think you can always do better. But in those moments of time years ago, we did let some people down, and those people let other people know about it, and they might still be unhappy about it today. But the whole business has literally changed over the years for the better. We've really, you can check out all the Google reviews on Google. Google doesn't lie to us as far as the reviews go. We can't change those. If you have a business and you're watching, you understand that. If somebody, decides to give you a positive review or a negative review, there's nothing you can do about it except respond and try to help. And one of the things we've always tried to be very proactive about, specifically in this day and age in 2024, is we've tried to be proactive to the customer, and we hope that the customer reaches out with an issue. Now, 1 in 1,000 customers are very unreasonable, and I get it. You can't please everybody, but we sure try. Sweet. We've got another question coming in. If you could start over from scratch, what would you do differently, business-wise? Awesome question. What would I do differently? I'd go find a rich uncle if I had one. That's what I would do differently. It's been the biggest challenge in doing business is financing. You know, when you start a business, you take on a lot of debt, and that's probably what I would do differently if I started over. Maybe even trying, you know, to find an investor. But it's again, I don't have any rich uncles, so I couldn't really do that. But I don't know. It's easier said than done. I do know that, starting a business. I commend anybody for doing it. Most businesses fail within 5 years, and that's the sad reality. We've been around now for 12, and the economy has gotten tougher over the last 2 years, and nobody talked about it in this world. It's been a secret, but if you're a manufacturer or you're doing business, you know that things have gotten tight over the last 2 years, period. I see Nikki's on the line there. She laughed at my response, which is awesome. She's probably heard me say that a million times. But I always tell people, to start a business, you need either time or money, or both. If you have both, it makes it a lot easier. You can really grow and scale faster, and you can just do things. Time and money. Time is money. So if you have lots of time on your hands and you have lots of money, you probably can assemble a group of people, hopefully, to build a business. That's one of the things we've done here. We've built a company. We've built people. People help run this business. This is no longer a business that I run by myself. And whereas I used to build machines, and I used to ship machines, and I used to try to fab machines and assemble machines while I was taking sales calls, it was pretty wild and crazy. But yeah, I'm here to help anybody. If somebody wants to reach out and ask a question about business, I love talking about business. Learned a lot. I think one of the things that people need to do if they're interested in starting a business is just do it. But a lot of times people put themselves in financial positions that they can't. And it's unfortunate, but it's what happens. And so start a business, you might fail. Failure is only if you quit and you give up. So redo it, try again, and just keep moving forward. And I promise you, you will hit roadblocks along the way. We've hit many over the years. We, in 2017, moved locations. That was a very tough time. Thought I'd lost the business at least once during the move, just because of everything being so hectic and crazy. You had to manage so many different things. But again, we've had so many good customers over the years that it's been incredible. Like, so much support, and I love it. We keep building these channels. People keep commenting and engaging more. This company has so much following and so much love, and we get a lot of hate, but that's just because people live in their parents' basement. And they can provide hate that way because it's easy. They're mad at the world, they're mad at themselves, they're mad at everybody. On a side note, the wild thing is that I was there many years ago, many years ago. Cool. We got another question. How do you gain prospects and leads? That's the biggest hurdle in my business. Absolutely. Every business that goes out of business because they can't find customers, or customers can't find them. And that's one of the things. You have to get on social media. This is 2024. You have to be on social media. You have to pound social media. We were laughing the other night, because we like to work like 16 to 20 hour days here. We were laughing the other night because the channel, I started the YouTube channel in 2012, 0 subscribers, 0 interest, 0 anything, and had never been in this industry, period. And the channel, I kept pounding on the channel from 2012 into 2016, and finally the channel started to slowly grow. Most people quit well before they start seeing any growth or any success. And that's one of the things, like, again, to find leads, I mean, there are many different lead management systems out there that you could buy leads from or you could buy lists from, but those people are cold. Those are cold leads. You want people contacting you and asking you to do business with them to sell either your product or service. But again, create content. It's the only way to do it. It's the only way to gain leads and new business for your business, and it will live forever. You know, every video that you make, every photo that you take will live forever until you delete it, and that's how you're going to get business. Plus, you just have to try to find what people need help with, and provide solutions for that. And that's why we're here. That's why we do what we do. Again, that's why we figure out what products to build, because we're just trying to find a solution to a problem. And yeah, what's up, Gary? I see Gary Holt online. Gary, I think Gary was a winner a couple years ago of one of our free giveaways. Gary, glad to have you on. But yeah, biggest hurdle in your business is finding leads. Absolutely. I think we have a very wild time with it ourselves internally, especially when you have multiple salespeople, fighting over business and trying to get business for the company, but inevitably to make paychecks. That's when it gets crazy, and you have to get very hardcore with your marketing. You have to go hard. And this stuff takes a lot of time and a lot of energy. It's 2 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon. There's so many things that we could be doing here internally. The sales department was working this morning here. They were present, and I always appreciate that. They're always answering the phones, answering emails, trying to help you guys out on a Saturday. But Gary said, yep, won the 1,000. Yeah, Gary got an awesome machine there, for sure. But yeah, thanks for the questions. If you guys have any more, put them in the chat section below. We're going to keep doing these live videos moving forward, so tell your friends, tell your family that are interested. You guys can check us out live. It's probably going to be weekly now, at this point at least once a week, and we'll keep and continue answering questions and hopefully helping you with your business or your hobby. And that's what we're here for. Let me go on to another question. How does the trade-up program work? So the trade-up program is awesome. It's something that we thought up a couple years ago, specifically in the wet blasting side. The wet blasting side, it's easy for us to refurbish and resell a used machine. In the dry blasting world, not so much. Again, these dry blasting machines literally tear themselves apart. But our trade-up program simply works. So for the equipment that the trade-up program is available for, the trade-up program is where you have no depreciation. When you purchase, there is no depreciation. You are able to roll that money into the next product. And there is no other company in the world that does this. Absolutely not. We have never seen it before. This is something brand new in the industrial world, but we have that much confidence and faith in our product, and we have so many people that want used equipment, not just new equipment. So we never, ever have used equipment on hand. Normally when we do get it, we immediately sell it after it's refurbished to a customer that may be on a waiting list. But basically, the way the trade-up program works in more detail, let's use a Weekend Warrior as an example. If you buy a Weekend Warrior and let's just say a week later or even a month later or a year later, you want to go up to a bigger cabinet, you take the full amount that you've paid for the machine, you take the full amount and you roll it into the next purchase. So again, you're not losing any of your money. So if you spent $2,864 full retail for a Weekend Warrior, you do not lose that $2,864. You get to roll that into the next machine. So you just pay the difference of whatever the machine is. And then of course you do have to pay shipping back on your product and for your new product. But that's simply because, shipping, you guys know, shipping is outrageous at this point. It's crazy. So I've got this little chat notification that I can't get away. Okay, so yeah, awesome. I was looking into an Axis vapor honing machine. Is that a good brand? Debating between it and VHT. Hey, I'm not here to debate with anybody on what product. You know, you guys choose what you want. That's just the way it is. You know, I've never tried to downplay anyone. That's not my business to do. I'm here to share with you, you know, what our products and our brand is capable of. And, you know, everybody has the right to choose, which again is what makes this a really awesome place to live. We all have the right to choose what we want to do. All I can do is present you the facts and the figures and everything that I would recommend, you know, when purchasing a machine. But yeah, that is, as Forrest Gump would say, that's all I have to say about that. Good question, though. But yeah, let's move on to the next question. Can you blast iron and stainless parts in the same vapor honing machine? Well, so you can. In a vapor honing cabinet, one of the biggest issues, or one of the biggest advantages, is you do not get or have issues with cross-contamination. So blasting different materials in the same machine, you have no chance or no issue of cross-contamination, as you do in dry blast. Dry blasting, if you're blasting stainless steel one day and then carbon steel or cast another, you're going to be impregnating different materials that you're removing. Basically, you will have an issue of contaminating those parts. And that's one of the things that vapor honing does not do. Vapor honing is most certainly way better in the lack of cross-contamination. And so you can blast any different material in those machines. You do not have to worry about hazardous dust removal like dry blasting cabinets. You can get yourself into a very tricky situation with explosive dust. There have been factories that have burnt down because of combustible dust, and it's a very dangerous thing that you have to be very aware of. But in a wet blasting, there is no fear of explosive hazardous dust, and there are no dust collection systems needed with vapor honing cabinets. Great question. Yeah, you guys put your questions down below like you've been doing. Really appreciate that. It's awesome. Really happy to be here today. We've been on now since about 2 o'clock, so about 45 minutes. Looking forward to doing this every week. Very, very awesome. Let's get on to the next question here. Oh, Nikki had a question there. She wants me to explain the lifetime warranty. So the lifetime warranty is an awesome thing that we've been doing. I can't remember what year we started, but the lifetime warranty covers any non-wear and tear items on your machine. We do have a list of wear and tear items on the website that we do not cover. And we do that simply because that would not be fair to either party. Wear and tear is wear and tear. That comes from everyday use. One example of a wear and tear item is gloves or blasting nozzles or pumps. Those are wear and tear items. Those things will wear out. Let's use a solenoid, for example. Solenoids, I would not consider wear and tear. Solenoids do fail here and there, just like lights. Lights do fail here and there, but those are not necessarily wear and tear. You don't have direct exposure to abrasive flow and pressure on those parts. But basically, we cover any non-wear and tear item on all of our wet blasting equipment, not the sandblasting product line. We do not cover that. Again, those machines will eat themselves. But if it's a wet blasting cabinet, we do cover non-wear and tear items for free. Yes, I said that outright, for free. All we have you do is pay for shipping. So we ship a replacement part to you. Sometimes we ask for that part back so that we can test it, we can refurbish it, and then of course reuse it or resell it for another replacement part. But no, what we do, again, we send you that part for free. You just pay the shipping, and it's a really simple, easy transaction. There are thousands and tens of thousands of people at this point that have taken advantage at some point in time in the lifetime warranty program. And, we have caught some people taking advantage of the lifetime warranty program because we do have systems internally. We track things. We know who gets what. We know who ships what, who buys what. Like, everything is tracked here, so, we will find out if somebody abuses the program. But it is one of the biggest values. That's why I started doing it years ago and offering it. I love it. I love people who stand behind their products. Again, you don't see that. You just don't see it. Snap-on Tool Company is one of the biggest ones that I've ever seen that do lifetime warranty. Yes, there are some other things that are coming in, and they're trying to offer warranties now. But we stand behind our products. We love them. We use them every single day. We don't just sell them. We don't just talk about them. We use everything every day in the showroom, and we run it through its paces. We test it. There are thousands of hours on any of our machines in the showroom, or in total, there are thousands of hours that we run. Yes, we trade these machines out, and we sell them, and we put new ones back in, but we find out what is broken and what is not, or what's going to break and what's not going to break. So normally we know that, but that's how the lifetime warranty program works. Hopefully you guys, see that as a tremendous value between companies, of course, and again, trade-up programs. But, also we ship the fastest in the industry, period. We've caught a lot of flack over the years. Before, when we were growing as a company, we ship the fastest in the industry, period. Our turnaround times, not an automated product, that's a different story, but our manual product lines, we're so freaking fast. We're very, 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 very quick. We manufacture in 75,000 square feet of manufacturing space. We have a fab shop on site. So we do not have to wait for third-party people to build a product. We literally can build a product same day if we ever need to, and we have before, but we have the fastest turnaround times in the industry. There are times in this marketplace, this crazy world that we live in, where we do have supply chain issues. We have warehouses packed full of parts. Over the 12 years of running this company, I've never seen a warehouse more full of inventory than we have now, but we still have issues with parts here and there, depends what it is. And there are different issues in different months. But since COVID really messed up our supply chain. It pretty much came back to normal, but we do see times and things here and there that, are causing issues. But, from a lot of our vendors, we are the largest buyer specifically in this space of certain parts and pieces. So we do experience the most pain sometimes when it comes to supply chain issues. We're moving very quickly as a company, and we try to do that to help the customer. And sometimes it's not easy. But awesome explanation or awesome question. I've got another question here, and if I don't have any more, I'll probably finish up with this one for today. But what is the best way to remove media after wet and dry blast? I'm going to say a Hydroblast parts washer is hands down your best way to remove residual abrasive after wet or dry blast. And one of the reasons is you have heat and you have pressure that will remove the abrasive from the part. The heat helps break it free. The pressure really breaks it free and washes it away. Of course, in the hydroblast, you have a filtration system that will filter out any of those microscopic or small micron particles, so you don't have the risk of rerunning that back through your part. But you can do some. Again, it just depends on the part too, though. Some of the parts are very simple in nature. Let's use this gear, for example. This gear is not a very complex part, meaning it does not have any threaded or internally tapped holes or any blind holes. So you really wouldn't have to hydroblast this part. But let's get into a carburetor body or a transmission case. Those parts really need to be hydroblast, washed after blasting, but nothing like a gear. You could wash this part, rinse it, or air dry it if it's a dry blast. So again, it depends on the part complexity. It's how you would clean the part afterwards. But looks like we did a survey earlier. It says, do you feel the trade-up program adds value to your purchase? 100% said yes, and 0% said no. So we love seeing that. That's why we keep doing it. That's why we keep offering it. It helps companies grow. If there are any business owners out there watching right now, you know how frustrating it is to buy a piece of equipment and become stuck with that piece of equipment if you've outgrown it. So yeah, then you have to try to liquidate and buy the next biggest thing. And that's one thing we eliminate here. If your business grows, we can grow with your business and we can help you upgrade. So it's good seeing that amongst the group. But yeah, I think for today, we're going to finish up for the day. If there's something that we didn't cover or there's something that you want to see, reach out to the sales department. Also, they're always email them, chat with them on the website. There are actually real people behind all of these different processes here, and it takes a ton of people to pull this off. But yep, we've got a response here. The lifetime warranty is what made me a lifetime customer of VHT. Thank you for standing behind your equipment. Love it. That's the stuff we love to hear. But yeah, if you guys are new to vapor honing technologies, go check out all of the thousands of videos that we have on YouTube and all of the other social media platforms. And yeah, have a look around on the website and reach out to the sales team. They're always here and willing to help, and they can help. They find people, if they don't know the answer, they're not going to tell you something that they don't know. So they always do a very good job at finding you an answer, and very quickly, rightfully so. We try not to let any time go between reaching out to a customer. We try to help people as quickly as we can, and that's our goal. And if we're not helping you fast enough, you can always let somebody know. There's so many people here to help you, and there's so much equipment here to help. There's so many different things that we can provide solutions to you for, and that's what we do. So yeah, let me know. We've got, like I say, we'll have a live coming up hopefully this coming week at some point. We'll try to announce it plenty of time in advance, and yeah, look forward to seeing you guys here again. As always, we're going to sign off now, but thanks for watching. You guys have a great rest of your Saturday, and thanks for tuning in. Look forward to seeing you next time. Take care.